The fist connected with Christian's jaw like a freight train derailing in the dead of night, sending him sprawling across the cracked linoleum of the high school locker room floor. Blood bloomed hot and metallic on his tongue as he gasped, the metallic tang mixing with the chlorine sting from the nearby showers. But it was the laughter, sharp, echoing, merciless, that sliced deepest into his chest. Faggot. The word hung in the humid air like a noose, spat from lips curled in a sneer that Christian knew all too well belonged to Alex Harlan, the golden boy of Elmwood High, whose broad shoulders and quarterback swagger made him untouchable. Christian curled into himself, ribs aching from the kick that followed, his backpack spilling textbooks like spilled secrets across the tiles. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting long shadows that danced like demons, and for a split second, he locked eyes with Alex, those stormy gray eyes that always seemed to see right through him, stripping him bare. But there was no mercy there, only the raw edge of something darker, something Alex buried under layers of bravado and beer-fueled parties. As the door slammed shut behind the retreating pack of jocks, leaving Christian alone in the echoing silence, he whispered to the empty room, "Why does it always have to be you? Elmwood, Ohio, wasn't the kind of place that made headlines unless it was for a barn fire or the annual corn festival blowout. It was the sort of Rust Belt town where dreams went to rust alongside the old steel mills, and high school felt like a prison sentence you served before the real one kicked in." Christian Hayes had grown up here, in a sagging two-story colonial on Maple Street that his mom, a night shift nurse with calloused hands and a smile that never quite reached her eyes, kept afloat on sheer willpower. His dad had split when Christian was 8, chasing tail and trucker dreams down I-70, leaving behind a stack of unpaid bills and a kid who learned early that love was just another word for abandonment. At 17, Christian was the quiet type, the one who blended into the woodwork with his faded band tees, Nirvana knockoffs from the thrift store, and jeans that hung loose on his lanky frame. He had that awkward grace, like a colt testing its legs, with freckles dusting his nose and green eyes that held too much for his own good. Kids called him Church behind his back, a jab at his name and the fact that he volunteered at the local soup kitchen on Sundays, dishing out mashed potatoes to the down-and-outs like it was his personal crusade. But Christian didn't mind the nickname much. It was better than the slurs that flew when someone caught him staring a beat too long at the wrong guy in gym class. Alex Harlan was the opposite of everything Christian wasn't. Captain of the football team, son of the mayor, with a jawline that could cut glass and a laugh that filled rooms like smoke from a bonfire. He drove a cherry-red Ford pickup his old man bought him for his 16th birthday, the kind with mud flaps and a shotgun rack in the back that screamed small-town king. Alex was the guy who organized bonfire raggers out by the quarry, where kegs flowed and girls in cut-off shorts hung off his arm like ornaments. But beneath the Letterman jacket and the easy grin, there was a fracture. His mom had OD'd on pills 2 years back, and the Harlan household was a minefield of silence and scotch. Alex buried it all in touchdowns and taunts, picking on the weak to feel strong. Their worlds collided freshman year, over a misplaced gym towel that Alex swore Christian had stolen. It escalated from there. Shoves in the hall, lockers slammed on fingers, whispers that turned into shouts. By junior year, Alex's crew had made it sport, tripping Christian in the cafeteria, scrawling queer on his notebook in the margins during shared history class. Christian took it, mostly, because fighting back meant drawing eyes, and eyes meant questions he wasn't ready to answer. Not even to himself. He'd lie awake in his twin bed, posters of indie bands peeling from the walls, replaying the moments when Alex's gaze lingered, Not with hate, but something hotter, more confused. Like Alex was daring him to push back, to make it real. That afternoon in the locker room was supposed to be routine. Practice ran late. Christian lingered to avoid the rush, hoping to slip out unnoticed. But Alex had other plans. He'd cornered him by the sinks, breath reeking of spearmint gum masking the faint whiskey his dad kept in the garage fridge. "What are you looking at, Hayes?" Alex had growled, close enough that Christian could see the faint scar above his eyebrow from a dirt bike crash. Christian hadn't said a word, just met those gray eyes, unflinching for once, and that's when the punch landed. Now, alone, Christian pushed himself up on shaking arms, the cold tile biting into his palms. He spat blood into the drain, watching it swirl pink and vanish. His phone buzzed in his pocket. A text from his best friend, Mia, the artsy girl with purple-streaked hair who ran the school newspaper and had a crush on every barista at the local coffee shop. "Where are you? Practice ended 20 minutes ago. Everything okay?" He typed back a quick "fine. Just cleaning up," because what was he supposed to say? "Got my ass kicked by the straight-A homophobe who's been haunting my wet dreams?" The bell for last period rang distantly, but Christian ignored it. He splashed water on his face, the mirror reflecting a boy with swollen lips and a resolve hardening like concrete. Tomorrow was the homecoming game, the whole town buzzing like a hive on steroids. Alex would be the hero under those Friday night lights, crowd chanting his name, while Christian sat in the bleachers sketching caricatures in his notebook, invisible as ever. But something shifted in that moment, staring at his reflection, the way his chest tightened not just from pain, but from a reckless spark. "Fuck this," he thought. "If he's gonna break me, I'll make him earn it." He grabbed his bag and headed out, the autumn chill slapping his face like a wake-up call. Leaves crunched under his sneakers, golden and brittle, mirroring the fragility he felt. Elmwood High loomed behind him, a brick behemoth with ivy-clinging walls and secrets in every shadow. As he cut across the football field, the goalposts stark against the fading sky, he spotted Alex in the distance, tossing a ball with his buddies, shirtless and sweat-slicked, muscles coiling like springs. Christian's breath hitched, a traitorous heat pooling low in his gut. He turned away, heart pounding, and whispered to the wind, "One day, you'll see me." The next few weeks blurred into a tense standoff. Homecoming came and went in a whirlwind of cheerleaders, and cheap beer snuck into plastic cups. Alex scored the winning touchdown, the town erupting as if he'd parted the Red Sea, and Christian watched from the shadows of the parking lot, nursing a bruised ego and a stolen flask from Mia's dad's cabinet. He didn't cheer, he sketched. Alex mid-leap, body arched in triumph. But in Christian's lines, there was something softer, a vulnerability Alex would never allow on the field. Monday brought the fallout. Whispers rippled through the halls. Someone had seen the locker room bruise on Christian's face, and Mia, bless her nosy soul, had cornered him in the library. "Who did it, Chris? Was it that asshole Harlan?" Her voice was a hiss over the scent of old books and microfiche dust. Christian shrugged, flipping through a dog-eared copy of The Catcher in the Rye like it held answers. "Doesn't matter. It's done." But it wasn't. That lunch, as Christian picked at his mystery meat in the corner booth, Alex slid into the seat across from him, uninvited, tray clattering like a challenge. The cafeteria noise dipped, eyes swiveling their way. "Heard you skipped last period Friday," Alex said, voice low, casual, but his knee bounced under the table, betraying the nerves. Christian's fork froze midway to his mouth. Close. Alex smelled like Irish Spring and fresh-cut grass, a combo that hit Christian like a drug. Yeah, well, your right hook's got a mean follow-through, Christian shot back, surprising himself with the edge in his voice. The table went still. Even Mia, across the room, paused mid-bite. Alex's laugh was forced, a bark that didn't reach his eyes. Don't be a pussy about it, Hayes. It was just messing around, but there was a flicker guilt, curiosity. As his gaze dropped to Christian's split lip, now scabbed over. He leaned in, voice dropping to a murmur only they could hear. You gonna rat me out? Christian held his stare, heart thundering. What if I do? Afraid Daddy Mayor won't buy you that new truck. It was bold, stupid bold, and for a heartbeat, he thought Alex might lunge across the table. Instead, Alex's hand shot out, not to hit, but to grip Christian's wrist under the table, thumb pressing hard enough to bruise. You don't know shit about me, he hissed, breath warm against Christian's ear. Then he was gone, tray abandoned, leaving Christian with a racing pulse and fingerprints blooming like promises on his skin. That night, rain lashed the windows of Christian's room, thunder rumbling like the gods were pissed. He paced, phone clutched like a lifeline, replaying the touch, the heat of Alex's palm, the way his gray eyes had darkened, not with anger, but hunger. Christian had always known he was different. The crushes on boys in middle school, the way he'd linger in the locker room showers, towel wrapped tight around his waist. But naming it, that was a line he hadn't crossed. Not until Alex made it impossible to ignore. Downstairs, his mom was humming off-key to Dolly Parton on the radio, frying eggs for her graveyard shift. You okay up there, kiddo? She called, voice thick with worry she tried to hide. Yeah, Ma. Just homework. Lies. All of it. He flopped onto his bed, staring at the ceiling cracks that mapped out like veins. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with gray eyes and rough hands, waking him sweat-damp and hard, guilt twisting like a knife. School dragged on, a minefield of stolen glances. Alex ignored him in the halls, but Christian caught the looks, quick, assessing, like Alex was piecing together a puzzle he didn't want to solve. Then came the group project in English, The Great Gatsby, of all things, with its green lights and impossible loves. Fate or cosmic joke, they got paired. Ms. Riley, the chain-smoking bohemian with cat-eye glasses, clapped her hands. Harlan and Hayes, opposites attract, right? Make it work. Boys. The library after school was a tomb of whispers and turning pages. Christian arrived first, claiming a corner table by the Ohio history section, notes spread like armor. Alex sauntered in 20 minutes late, leather jacket slung over one shoulder, hair damp from the drizzle outside. This blows, he muttered, dropping into the chair with a thud that echoed. Christian didn't look up. Tell me about it. Partnered with the class clown, Alex snorted, but there was no bite. He cracked open his worn copy of the book, the spine creased from years of half-assed reads. Gatsby's a chump. Chasing some ghost bitch who don't even remember him. His voice was gruff, but his pen tapped a nervous rhythm on the table. Christian glanced up, surprised. Maybe. Or maybe he saw something real in her, something worth the pain. Their eyes met, and the air thickened, charged like the storm outside. Alex's foot nudged Christian's under the table. Accidental? Intentional? And neither pulled away. They worked in fits and starts, words tumbling out between silences heavy with unspoken shit. Alex surprised him, quoting lines about old sport with a wry twist, revealing a brain sharper than the footballs he hurled. Christian shared his sketches, Gatsby as a faded Polaroid, Daisy with eyes like shattered glass, and Alex leaned in close, breath hitching. Damn, Hayes. That's good. Real good. By the time the clock hit 6, the library was emptying, fluorescent hum the only sound. Alex packed slow, deliberate. Walk you out. It wasn't a question. Outside, rain had eased to mist, streetlights haloing the parking lot. They paused by Alex's truck, gravel crunching under boots. Hey, Alex said, rubbing the back of his neck, a gesture so boyish it punched Christian in the gut. About Friday. I didn't mean. Forget it. Christian cut him off, but his voice cracked. He turned to go, but Alex's hand caught his arm. Gentle this time, fingers curling like they belonged. Christian, the name hung there, soft, like a confession. Gray eyes searched green, finding something that made Alex's jaw clench. Then, impulsive as a blackout, he pulled Christian in. Not for a kiss, but a hug, rough and fleeting, bodies pressing in the damp chill. Don't hate me, okay? Christian nodded against his shoulder, inhaling leather and rain and the faint salt of skin. I can't. As Alex drove off, taillights fading into the night, Christian stood frozen, the world tilting on its axis. This was the beginning or the end. Either way, it was everything. Winter clamped down on Elmwood like a vice, blanketing the town in gray slush and holiday lights that flickered like false hope. Christian's days fell into a rhythm. School, sketches, stolen moments in the library where Alex's knee would brush his under the table, sending jolts like live wires. They didn't talk about it, the hug, the softening glances, but it simmered, pot left too long on the stove. Mia noticed, of course. You're glowing, Church. Spill. Who's the mystery muse? She'd poke him with her paint-splattered fingers during art club, where Christian hid behind his easel, dabbing charcoal onto paper that bled with unspoken longing. It's nothing, he'd mutter, but his cheeks burned. Mia was the only one who knew about the boys, the confusion that twisted his insides like barbed wire. She'd come out last year, flag-waving at the Pride float in Columbus, and though Elmwood wasn't exactly waving rainbow flags, she owned it like a crown. Bullshit, she'd say. That look in your eyes? It's Daisy Buchanan level. Alex, meanwhile, was unraveling at the seams. Home was hell. His dad campaigning for re-election, barking orders over steak dinners that went cold untouched. Man up, son. This town's watching. Alex nodded through it, but the pressure built, manifesting in slammed doors and late-night drives to the quarry, where he'd park and chain-smoke camels, staring at the black water below. Christian haunted him, those green eyes that didn't flinch, the way his laugh bubbled low and genuine when they debated Gatsby's tragic flaws. Alex told himself it was pity, or some twisted bromance, but the dreams said otherwise, hands on skin, breaths mingling, waking him tangled in sheets with a shame that burned hotter than desire. Their project presentation was a disaster waiting to happen, or a spark to ignite it all. English class, mid-December, snow tapping the windows like impatient fingers. The room smelled of pine from the half-assed classroom tree, and Ms. Riley called them up. Christian stood first, notes clutched like a shield, voice steady as he wove through themes of illusion and identity. Alex followed, stumbling at first, but finding his footing when he glanced at Christian, standing there, flannel sleeves rolled up, exposing wrists Alex suddenly ached to trace. "Gatsby loved hard," Alex said, voice rough around the edges. "Even when it wrecked him. Kinda stupid, but kinda beautiful." The class shifted. A few snickers, but Christian's smile, small, knowing, lit something in Alex's chest. As papers shuffled and chairs scraped, Alex cornered him by the coat rack. "Wanna grab coffee? Neutral ground, you know." Debrief. His hands shoved deep in pockets, shoulders hunched against the draft. Christian hesitated, heart a drum solo. The Spoonful, Elmwood's lone coffee joint, was neutralish, hipster haven with mismatched mugs and indie folk crooning from speakers. Sure. Why not? The bell rang, but they lingered, walking out into flurries that stuck to lashes and scarves. The Spoonful was a 5-minute hike, past the hardware store with its rusted plows in the window and the diner where truckers nursed Joe and regrets. Inside, it was warm haze, cinnamon scones and the hiss of the espresso machine. They claimed a corner booth, vinyl cracking under them, and ordered black for Alex, latte with extra foam for Christian, because of course. Conversation started stilted. Grades. The upcoming winter formal, Alex's groans said it all. The Steelers' slim playoff chances. But then it cracked open. "My old man's on my ass about scouts," Alex admitted, stirring sugar he didn't need. "Like football's the only thing that matters." "What about you? What's your deal after this hellhole?" Christian sipped, foam clinging to his upper lip. "Art school, maybe. RISD or something in the city. Get out. See real lights, not just green ones across a bay." He wiped his mouth, self-conscious under Alex's gaze. Alex leaned forward, elbows on the scarred wood. "You'd kill it. Those sketches. They're you, man. Raw." A pause. Heavy. "Why'd you let me treat you like shit all this time?" The question landed like a gut punch. Christian's mug clattered. "Let you? I didn't let you. I just survived." His voice cracked, green eyes flashing. "You think it's easy, being the freak in a town that eats its own?" Alex flinched, like slapped. "I ain't fuck, Christian. I know what I did. It's just easier to hit out than feel it." He raked a hand through his hair, damp from snow. "My mom's grave. I drive by it sometimes. Feels like I'm drowning, and you look at me like you see through the bullshit." The booth felt smaller, air thick with confessions neither was ready for. Christian reached across, tentative, fingers brushing Alex's knuckles. Skin on skin, electric. Alex didn't pull away. Instead, his hand turned, palm up, lacing their fingers in a grip that said stay. "I'm sorry," he whispered, thumb stroking Christian's pulse point. "For all of it." Outside, snow fell thicker, blanketing sins. They walked back in silence, shoulders brushing, the world muffled. At Christian's door, peeling blue paint and a porch light that buzzed like a firefly, Alex paused. "Text me later?" It was a plea. "Yeah." Christian watched him go, truck rumbling to life, and for the first time, the night felt less like a void and more like possibility. Winter formal loomed, a glittery farce in the gym with streamers and bad punch. Mia dragged Christian shopping at the mall in Dayton, forcing him into slacks that actually fit and a button-down the color of evergreen. "For the aesthetic," she insisted, though her eyes twinkled with secrets. Christian hadn't told her about the coffee, the hand-holding, but she sniffed it out like a bloodhound. Alex asked him to go as friends. He texted at 2 a.m., thumbs fumbling over keys. "Don't want to do it alone." "Say yes?" Christian's reply was instant. "Pick me up at 7. The night was magic wrapped in tinsel. Alex arrived in a rented tux that strained over his shoulders, tie crooked, grin boyish. "You clean up nice, Hayes." Christian's heart stuttered. In slacks and that shirt, Alex's eyes devoured him whole. The gym pulsed with bass and awkward shuffles, fog machine haze making it feel like a dream. They stuck to the edges at first, punch cups in hand, trading jabs about the chaperones and the kid who puked on the punch bowl. Then the slow set hit, some top 40 ballad about lost love, and Alex extended a hand. "Dance?" Christian's world narrowed to that palm, calloused from spirals and weights. "Yeah." They swayed, bodies close but not touching, breaths sinking in the dim light. Alex's hand settled low on Christian's back, fingers splaying possessive. "This okay?" he murmured, lips brushing ear. "More than." Christian's voice was breath, and when their eyes met, gray storm meeting green sea, the dam broke. Alex pulled him closer, forehead to forehead, and in that stolen moment, with bad romance thumping faintly, he kissed him. Soft at first, tentative, then deepening with a hunger that tasted of mint and fear. Christian melted into it, hands fisting Alex's shirt, the world fading to the press of lips and the thunder of heartbeats. They broke apart gasping, cheeks flushed, the song ending too soon. "Holy shit," Alex breathed, a laugh bubbling up, disbelieving. "I've wanted that." "Me too." Christian's fingers traced Alex's jaw, memorizing the stubble shadow. But reality intruded. A wolf whistle from across the gym, eyes turning their way. Alex tensed, pulling back, mask slipping on. "We should." "Yeah." The word tasted bitter. They slipped out early, into the parking lot where snow dusted the cars like sugar. In Alex's truck, heater blasting, they kissed again. Fiercer, hands roaming, shirts untucked. But Alex stopped, forehead against the wheel. "I can't. Not yet. My dad, he'd kill me." "The team." Christian nodded, chest aching. "I get it. But this," he gestured between them. "It's real." Alex's grip on the wheel whitened. "It is. God, it is." He drove Christian home, the silence companionable now, laced with promise. But promises in Elmwood were fragile as hoarfrost. The next week brought the chill, rumors, started by a junior on the cheer squad who'd seen the dance floor lean in. Whispers in the halls, "Harlan's gone queer?" And Alex's crew closed ranks, jokes turning sharp. He pulled away, lunches skipped, texts going unanswered. Christian cornered him after practice, the field lamps casting long shadows. What's going on? Alex wouldn't meet his eyes, cleats digging into turf. It's nothing. Just busy. But his voice cracked, and when Christian reached for him, Alex jerked back like burned. Don't. People are talking. So let them. Christian's plea hung raw. We can. No. Alex's jaw set. Steel. This was a mistake. He walked away, leaving Christian in the cold, the slam of the locker room door echoing like finality. Heartbreak settled in Christian's bones, a winter flu that no soup could cure. He threw himself into art, canvases blooming with grays and blues, Mia hovering like a worried hen. He's an idiot. She spat over hot cocoa at her place, fairy lights twinkling. You deserve better. But Christian couldn't hate him. Not when every song on the radio twisted the knife. Not when he drove by the Harlan place and saw Alex's truck. Lights on late. He wrote letters he never sent. Pages of I miss you and why, burned in the backyard fire pit. Ashes scattering like lost chances. Christmas came subdued. Mom's tree with 3 strings of lights. Ham from the food bank. Christian gifted her a portrait, her laughing, unlined, the way she used to be. She hugged him fierce, whispering, "You're my light, kid." That night, snow blanketing the world soft, he dreamed of gray eyes, waking with tears on his pillow. New Year's Eve, the quarry party raged, fireworks popping over the ice-rimmed water, bass thumping from truck beds. Christian went with Mia, determined to forget, nursing a solo cup of spiked punch. But Alex was there, across the bonfire, arm around Tara Jenkins like a shield. Their eyes met through the flames, and Christian's cup crumpled in his fist. He turned away, but fate or alcohol intervened. Tara ditched for her ex, leaving Alex solo, and he found Christian by the water's edge, stones skipping flat across the frozen surface. Hey! Christian's laugh was hollow. Hey yourself. Alex shifted, boots crunching frost. About the dance. Forget it. But Christian's voice broke, and Alex stepped closer, the fire's glow painting him gold. I can't. Alex's hand cupped his neck, thumb on pulse. I tried. Fuck. I tried. And then they were kissing again, desperate, snowflakes melting on heated skin. Hands under jackets, breaths fogging the air. Come with me, Alex murmured, pulling him toward the truck. In the cab, windows fogging, they explored slow, reverent. Shirts shed, skin to skin, Alex's mouth tracing collarbones, eliciting gasps that shattered the silence. You're beautiful, he whispered against Christian's throat, hands mapping ribs and hips. It was messy, fervent, their first time, all fumbling urgency and whispered names. Christian arched, lost in gray eyes that finally, fully saw him. After, tangled in blankets from the back seat, Alex held him close. I love you, the words slipped out, soft as snowfall. Christian's heart stuttered. Yeah, he traced Alex's scar. Me too, but dawn brought clarity's cruel light. As they dressed, Alex's phone buzzed, his dad, furious about the party. Get home. Now. The drive back was quiet, tension coiling. Christian's door. Alex kissed him lingering. We'll figure it out. Lies, sweet as pie. Monday, the hammer fell. Coach pulled Alex aside. Rumors confirmed by a blurry phone pic from the party. Clean this up, Harlan. Or you're benched. The team turned. Cold shoulders and sidelong glares. Alex lashed out in the halls, shoving Christian hard enough to bruise. Stay away, fag. He snarled for show, but his eyes begged forgiveness. Christian reeled, betrayal a blade to the gut. In the bathroom stall, he slid down the wall, sobs racking. How could you? Mia found him, hugging fierce. He's scared. Doesn't make it right. But fear was a small word for the chasm opening. Weeks blurred, Alex ghosting, Christian hollow. Then, the breaking point Valentine's, of all days. A note in Christian's locker, meet me. Corey. 8 p.m. Please. Against better judgment, he went. Alex waited, truck idling, face gaunt in headlights. I'm sorry, he blurted as Christian approached. I panicked. But I can't do this without you. They talked. Hours. Raw and real. Alex confessed the closet's crush. The fear of losing everything. Christian shared his own scars. The loneliness etched deep. Dawn found them wrapped together. Promises renewed. No more hiding, Alex vowed. Spring thawed the ice. And with it, tentative steps. Secret dates. Drives to Toledo for movies. Hands linked in the dark. Stolen kisses in Alex's truck. Laughter echoing. Christian bloomed. Sketches vibrant with color. But shadows lingered. The town's watchful eyes. Alex's dad's campaigns whispering about family values. Graduation loomed. Caps and gowns a finish line. They planned escape. Alex on a partial ride to OSU. Christian to art school in Chicago. We'll make it, Alex said, kissing him under the bleachers. Fireflies dancing. But Elmwood had claws. One night, post-game party, a teammate cornered Alex. Drunk, aggressive. You really banging the freak? Fists flew. Alex took a beating, split lip mirroring Christian's long-ago bruise. Word spread, and the backlash hit, benching, whispers of scholarship revocation. Alex broke in Christian's arms that night, sobbing on his chest. I can't lose you. But I can't lose this. The fracture widened, love warring with fear. Summer scorched Elmwood, humidity thick as regret, cicadas screaming from the oaks like accusations. Graduation had come and gone in a blur of mortarboards tossed skyward and air horns blaring from tailgates. Christian walked the stage with a hollow ache. Diploma clutched like a ticket out, his mom's cheers the loudest in the bleachers. Alex had been there, in the sea of blue gowns, gray eyes locking on green across the football field. A nod, a half-smile that said soon. But soon stretched, elastic as taffy, pulled taut by the weight of unwritten futures. They stole time where they could. Lazy afternoons at the quarry, skipping stones and sharing dreams over stolen beers from Alex's cooler. Chicago's got everything, Christian would say, head on Alex's lap, fingers tracing the faded tattoo of a cross on his forearm, a drunken dare from sophomore year. Galleries, real coffee, guys who don't give a shit if you're gay. Alex's laugh rumbled, but his hand stilled. OSU's Columbus. Close enough for weekends. He'd pull Christian up, kissing slow and deep, bodies fitting like puzzle pieces worn smooth. Those days were idols, Sweat-slick skin under the relentless sun, whispers of forever traded like vows. But beneath it, tension simmered. Alex's dad ramping up for the fall election, posters plastered with his stern face and slogan keeping Elmwood strong. Family first, it read, and Alex winced every time he drove past one. The betrayal brewed slow, a storm cloud on the horizon. It started with calls, scouts pulling back, vague emails about character concerns. Coach's office became Alex's confessional, doors closing on lectures about image and legacy. You're throwing it away for what? Some fairy tale? The words festered, and Alex withdrew, text sparse, excuses piling like dirty laundry. Christian felt it first in the silences, the way Alex's hugs turned brotherly, chaste. "What's wrong?" he'd ask, over greasy fries at the diner, neon sign buzzing open 24/7 like a lie. "Nothing. Just stressed." Alex's eyes dodged, focusing on the checkered tablecloth. But Christian knew the pull of expectation, the Harlan name a noose tightening. Then came Tara. Again. She cornered Alex at the gas station, all long legs and homecoming queen smile, fresh from her waitress shift at the Olive Garden in Dayton. "Heard you're single," she purred, flipping her blonde waves. "Winter formal was fun, but we never finished what we started." Alex, cornered between pump and pickup, laughed it off, but the seed planted. Tara was safe. Cheer uniform, Daddy's law firm, a story that fit the script. Word reached Christian via Mia, who burst into his shift at the bookstore, dusty shelves of romance novels mocking him. "She's posting pics. Them at the lake. Kissing." Mia's face twisted, protective fury. Christian's stomach dropped, the world tilting. He drove to the lake that night, gravel road winding through cornfields heavy with silk, fireflies winking like traitors. They were there. Alex's truck parked crooked, Tara's laugh tinkling over the water lapping at the shore. Christian watched from the treeline, hidden in shadows, as Alex pulled her close, not with the fire he'd shown Christian, but mechanical, going through motions. Their kiss was brief, Alex's eyes scanning the dark like guilt personified. But it shattered something in Christian, glass under boot. He backed away, tires spinning as he fled, tears blurring taillights. Confrontation came 2 days later, under the same bleachers where promises had bloomed. Christian waited, sketchpad abandoned, pencil snapped in his fist. Alex arrived rumpled, smelling of chlorine from practice. "You texted." "Yeah." Christian's voice was ice. "Saw you with Tara." "Real romantic." Alex paled. "Hands up." "It's not, Chris. Listen. Dad found out. About us." He flipped, said it'd ruin everything, the election, my ride. Tara's just cover. Christian's laugh was jagged. "You kissed her." "For him." Alex stepped closer, desperate. "I had to buy time. Once I'm at OSU." "Bullshit." Christian shoved him, chest heaving. "You're choosing him. Again. This town's poison, and you're letting it win." Alex grabbed his arms, gray eyes wild. "I love you. Damn it. This isn't easy for me either." But his voice cracked, and Christian saw it, the fracture, the boy trapped in a man's expectations. "Then fight." Christian's plea hung, raw. Or let me go. Alex kissed him then, fierce and fracturing, hands fisting hair. They tumbled to the grass beneath the bleachers, metal groaning above like judgment. Clothes shed in urgency, bodies colliding in a storm of need and anger. Alex's mouth mapped Christian's skin, neck, chest, lower, drawing moans that echoed in the dusk. I need you, he gasped, entering slow, eyes locked, tears tracking. It was salvation and damnation, hips grinding, breaths sinking in a rhythm older than words. Christian arched, nails raking back, whispering love you like a prayer. After, spent and sticky, they lay tangled, fireflies painting constellations on skin. I'll come out, Alex murmured, fingers tracing Christian's spine. After the election. I swear, Christian wanted to believe, clung to it like a lifeline. But doubt wormed in, cold as the creek nearby. The high crashed with the scandal. Tara, loose-lipped after too many margaritas at a bachelorette gig, spilled to her sorority sisters, now ex, but gossip travels. By morning, Elmwood buzzed, texts flying, Facebook ablaze with speculation. Harlan's queer, with that Hayes kid? Mayor Harlan's office spun damage control, but the press, local rag, and a Columbus blogger sniffed blood. Alex's dad exploded that night, storming the Harlan living room where Alex nursed a beer on the couch. You little shit, this is how you repay me. Slaps landed, open-palmed, but stinging, followed by disownment threats. Get out. And take your perversion with you. Alex fled to Christian's, pounding on the door at midnight, lips split, eyes swelling. Mom answered, face paling, but pulled him in without question, maternal instinct overriding small-town bias. Upstairs, Christian cleaned him up with hydrogen peroxide and cotton balls, hands shaking. He hit you. Alex nodded, voice hollow. Said I'm no son of his. He broke then, sobs racking the frame that had carried him through tackles and taunts. Christian held him, rocking like a child, whispering nonsense about new starts. They ran that week, hitchhiked to Columbus, duffels stuffed with clothes and dreams. OSU orientation loomed, but Alex's scholarship hung by threads. Christian's acceptance to the School of the Art Institute waited, a bus ticket to Chicago burning a hole in his pocket. Together, Alex asked, as they crashed in a Fleabag motel off I-71, neon vacancy sign flickering through thin curtains. Together, they made love slow that night, motel bed creaking, bodies a map of hurts and heels. Alex's hands were reverent, mouth worshipping, drawing gasps that fogged the mirror. You're my home, he breathed, buried deep, rhythm building to a crescendo of cries and release. But betrayal's echo lingered. In Columbus, the city swallowed them, buckeye trees shading sidewalks, Olentangy River murmuring secrets. Alex crashed on a teammate's couch, dodging calls from home. Christian found a temp gig at a cafe, sketching patrons between shifts. Stolen weekends, walks in Goodale Park, hands brushing in crowds, kisses in alley shadows. Felt like freedom until Tara's text started, he'll come back. Boys like him always do. Doubt festered. One night, after a Buckeyes game, Alex vanished into the throng of frat boys and tailgates. Christian waited at the bar, phone silent, until dawn when Alex stumbled in, reeking of Jaeger and regret. Where? Needed space. Alex's eyes were bloodshot. This city's too much. The guys. They know. Christian's heart iced. So you drown it? With what, beers and bullshit? Alex lashed out, voice rising. You don't get it. I'm trying. For us. Trying looks like running. Christian's voice broke. The fight escalated. Words, weapons, coward. Weak. Done. Alex stormed out, door slamming like a guillotine. Days stretched to silence. Christian boarded the bus to Chicago alone, window seat framing blurring Ohio fields. His mom's hug at the station was fierce, tear-streaked. Call me, baby. Every day. Mia's text pinged as the Greyhound pulled away. He's a fool. You're gold. Chicago hit like a fever dream. Loop skyscrapers piercing clouds. Lake Michigan's endless blue. Art school was chaos. Life drawing nudes that stirred old aches. Critiques that flayed egos. Christian threw himself in. Canvases exploding with color. Abstracts of gray eyes dissolving into rainbows. Bodies intertwined in defiance. Months passed in a haze. Alex's texts trickled. Miss you. Sorry. Then stopped. Christian heard through Mia. Alex back in Elmwood. Scholarship salvaged. Tara on his arm at the county fair. Betrayal's knife twisted anew, but time dulled the edge. He dated. A barista with tattoos and easy smiles, but no one fit. No one saw like Alex had. Then, the call? October. Leaves turning in Grant Park. Mom's voice trembled. It's Alex. Accident. Quarry slipped on the ice. He's in the hospital. Bad. Christian's world stopped. Greyhound again. Miles melting under tires. Elmwood greeted him unchanged. Rusted silos, familiar ache. The hospital smelled of bleach and despair, beeping monitors a dirge. Alex lay pale, tubes snaking, bruises blooming like accusations. His dad hovered in the hall, face carved from granite. Haze, a nod, grudging. Inside, Alex stirred, gray eyes fluttering open. Chris. Yeah. Christian took his hand, for cold against skin. I'm here. Tears tracked. I fucked up. Went back. For Dad. Tara. Thought I could fix it. Cough racked him, monitors spiking. But you were right. This town kills. Shoo. Christian stroked hair, damp. Rest. Days blurred. Vigils at bedside. Mom bringing jello. Mia with gossip and hugs. Alex rallied. Slow physio. Whispers of rehab for the drinking problem, his dad finally admitted. One night, under harsh fluorescence, Alex pulled Christian close. I love you. Always did. Forgive me? Christian's throat tightened. Yeah. But no more hiding. No more. Alex's kiss was weak, but true lips brushing, promise sealed. Fall deepened, Elmwood's grip loosening as leaves carpeted streets in crimson surrender. Alex's recovery was a marathon, not sprint. Cast shed, scars fading to silver threads, but the internal wounds festered longer. The quarry incident made the papers, local heroes close call, spun as youthful folly, but whispers lingered, eyes lingering on the two boys who visited side by side. Mayor Harlan, election dust settling in defeat, a narrow loss, blamed on distractions, brokered an uneasy truce. Fix your mess, he grunted over hospital coffee. But there was a crack in the armor, a father's fear masquerading as steel. Christian stayed through November, deferring Chicago for a semester, crashing at Mia's attic with its slanted ceilings and posters of Frida Kahlo glaring judgment. Days were physio sessions and quiet talks. Alex on crutches, Christian sketching his profile by the window, sunlight gilding the vulnerability. I almost died hating myself, Alex confessed one afternoon, Ohio State mug steaming between palms. For you. For us. Christian set the pencil down, green eyes steady. You didn't. That's what matters. He leaned in, kissing the corner of a mouth still tender from stitches. It was chaste, healing lips lingering, hands cupping face. No rush, just reclamation. Mom surprised them with pie, apple, lattice crust flaky as her forgiveness. Boys, she said, slicing generous. Life's too short for secrets. Her own had surfaced that summer, Dad's letters, postmarked from Reno, begging reconciliation. She'd burned them, but the ash lightened something in her step. By December, Alex walked unaided, the quarry a ghost they exorcised together, standing at the edge, hands linked, tossing a single stone that skipped 7 times before sinking. 7 years good luck, Alex joked, but his squeeze said forever. They drove to Columbus for his re-enrollment meeting, nerves electric. The advisor, a burly ex-linebacker with a rainbow pin on his lanyard, shook Alex's hand firm. We don't bench for who you love, son. Play ball. Relief crashed like waves. That night, in a dorm room borrowed from a sympathetic RA, they celebrated, slow undressing by desk lamp glow, bodies rediscovering paths. Alex's hands trembled on Christian's hips, mouth tracing freckles like stars. Beautiful, he murmured, lowering, tongue teasing until Christian arched, gasps filling the room. Entry was gentle, eyes locked, rhythm building to a symphony of moans, release crashing, shared and shattering. Chicago called come January, art school a whirlwind of clay and critique. Christian thrived, canvases earning nods, but weekends were sacred. Amtrak to Columbus, Alex meeting him at Union Station with coffee and grins. Their love matured, less wildfire, more hearth, letters mailed old school, mixtapes of the National and Bon Iver. Alex came out gradual, team first, a quiet huddle post-practice. This is me. Deal. Some bolted, but core stayed, slaps on back and about time. Elmwood tested them still. Spring break. Home for Mom's birthday barbecue. Smoke curling from the grill. Neighbors eyeing the pair with sidelong curiosity. Tara approached, contrite over potato salad. I was a bitch. Sorry. Alex nodded, arm around Christian's waist possessive. Water under the bridge, but the real storm brewed with Harlan Sr. A sit-down in the den, walls lined with campaign photos now gathering dust. You happy? He asked Alex, voice gruff over scotch. Yeah, Dad. I am. Gray eyes met blue, unflinching. Love him. End of story. The mayor exhaled, years sloughing off. Your mother. She would have wanted that. A hand extended, not perfect, but olive branch. Healing, inch by inch. Summer brought crossroads. Alex's internship at a sports camp, Christian's gallery show in Wicker Park. Abstracts titled From Shadows to Light. One piece a diptych of fractured grays blooming rainbow. Alex flew in, suit ill-fitting, pride swelling as strangers murmured approval. After party, rooftop under stars, he dropped to one knee, not ring, but a keychain, intertwined silver bands. To the apartment we'll get. Someday, Christian pulled him up, kissing fierce amid cheers. Someday soon, years folded like origami. College degrees framed on fridge doors, first apartment in Chicago's Logan Square, exposed brick, leaky faucet, there's. Alex scouted for the Bears, minor league grind paying dividends. Christian taught at a community center, murals exploding on warehouse walls. They fought over dishes, distance, old ghosts, but made up with touches that spoke louder. Slow mornings in sheets, hands linked on runs along the lakefront. The betrayal scar faded to a faint line, a reminder etched in ink one anniversary. Matching tattoos on ribs, from bully to love, scripted small. Changed everything, Alex traced, mouth following. Elmwood visits softened. Mom's porch swings creaking with stories. Mia's wedding where they slow danced under string lights, gray-green eyes only for each other. Mayor Harlan, retired, softer scent cards, proud inked shaky. One crisp October, 5 years post-quarry, they stood on a Chicago bridge, wind whipping Lake Michigan spray. Alex knelt for real this time, ring glinting simple gold, engraved forever changed. Marry me, Christian Hayes, let's keep changing everything. Tears pricked green eyes. Yes. God, yes. The wedding was small. Rooftop, skyline sentinel, Mom dabbing Kleenex, Mia officiating with flair. Vows echoed. You saw me when I was invisible. Loved me through the dark. I do every day. Honeymoon in the Smokies, cabin fire crackling, bodies entwined on bearskin, passion rekindled, slow and sure, gasps mingling with rain on tin roof. My first love, Alex whispered post-climax, spent and sated. My only, life unfolded human, flawed. Adoptions discussed over brunches, gallery openings with Alex's proud arm around waist. Betrayals of the past, fertilizer for growth, roots deepening. In quiet moments, coffee steam curling, fingers laced, Christian reflected. From locker room blood to this, a journey carved in courage. Alex's head on his shoulder, breath even. Worth it all. Yeah, Christian murmured, kissing temple. Changed everything. Forever. And in the heart of America, two boys who'd once been bully and bullied, built a world where love wasn't a fight but home.